Hello, Good Vibe Show fans. Welcome to episode 5 of season 13 of the Good Vibe Show by me, Jay Haley, part of the Special Chronicles Network. Hope you've all been enjoying season 13 thus far with episodes 1 through 4, as well as catching up on seasons 1 through 12 of the Good Vibe Show and their season recap specials, as well as my special series, The Road to 2022 USA Games, which is me talking about my training up to and the experience and the results from the 2022 Special Olympics USA Games in Orlando, Florida. So, folks, if you've been paying attention to season 13 thus far, you know it's about feeding around positivity from Ted Lasso. So, I've already told you by now, you've already recapped what each of the 4 episodes themes are by now. And so today's topic of conversation or theme is be empowering towards others, in which this is where I could say you talk more about leadership in a ring and such. So technically, you're how you look towards this theme or topic is that you need to be a good leader and empower others to do their very best to be who they are, because what allows them to challenge themselves to do greater things and make themselves better. Because if you're not empowering them, you're kind of like pushing them down and making them overwhelmed and such. Whereas you empowering them, they feel less overwhelmed and more willing to desire to achieve. And I think folks tend to do more of that pushing down on people and sort of belittling them. When reality is, if we empower them or give them positive reinforcement, they will be stronger individuals because belittling, unfortunately in this case, has negative impacts and it doesn't help. Some may consider that being criticism is belittling, but reality criticism is also constructive and empowering too. And sometimes you have to take constructive criticism in this case as an empowerment tool to make you better. I think folks tend to forget that we should really be a lot more empowering of folks than basically putting them down. Because if we put down people for great ideas when we should empower, like, hey, that's a great idea, go for it. It says like, no, that's a bad idea, we're not gonna go for it, or we don't think it is. You should really just tell them like, hey, that's a great idea, go for it, and then let us like, hey, you be the lead on it or something. Because when letting them to be who they are and getting better is more important than having you be in charge all the time. Because a person who empowers somebody is a greater leader or a more positive individual than someone who belittles and says negative to them, because they're just going to be a great leader, negative impact, and it's just going to hurt morale. Whereas the empowering side, with all that positivity, it's going to be super motivating and making people do more. I think folks tend to forget because when everyone thinks of the military in this case, and just in generic terms, that they belittle you, but it's actually meant to actually sort of build you back down or starting to build you up, and they actually are building you up to be more empowering towards others to actually be greater people. So in reality, the military, in this case, they're empowering you by rebuilding the foundation of who you are. I know people are going to criticize me for that, but the reality is empowerment towards others is something great, and we should always be empowering others to do great things in life. And I think we need to remember that, folks, because in any day and age, empowering someone to do something amazing can be more. It's more worth its while than being super negative and belittling and sound like you can't do it. So just remember, folks, be empowered to us and be positive with positive reinforcements. So, folks, here's our great sponsor from our sponsor, the Special Chronicles Network. The Give Back Show is proudly featured on the Special Chronicles Network. Visit specialchronicles.com for links to follow on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Be sure to also subscribe to the newsletter and find the podcast page of this podcast, The Give Back Show by me, Jerry Hulley. If you love the Give Back Show, then you'll love the other podcast on the Special Chronicles Network. Visit specialchronicles.com for links to subscribe to our podcast newsletter and to follow us on social media. And folks, remember also to support the podcast on the Special Chronicles Network, so we continue our mission of giving respect and voice to people with special talents and abilities. Visit specialchronicles.com/give to make gift pay. So, folks, also another reminder to you is also remember to follow the Good Vibes Show by me, Jerry Foley, on Instagram at Good Vibes by JH, and Facebook, facebook.com/Good Vibes by JH. You can also find on YouTube, youtube.com/GoodVibesForDays. Also subscribe to the Good Vibes Show by me, Jerry Hoy, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Last time I checked, it was like over 1,200 listens, which is a pretty impressive number to say. And I know, folks, I do appreciate you all for tuning in for these episodes, especially this season, because it's a very special season to me. Expect the number 13 to some people is very unlucky. To me, it's considered a very lucky number to ours because it's a prime number and everything. It's an amazing thing to think about. I think looking towards this, and I know everyone's going to look question why the heck I was doing all the things with my face. I was like, yeah, well, I'm empowering myself to say, hey, it's okay to do that. And I also tell people it's okay to do that while recording your podcast, because sometimes, or videos, because it's worth doing. Because sometimes if you have an itch, you have to itch it, right? You might as well do it and not ignore it. So just that. So, folks, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. And until next time, peace out. Blah, blah. Folks, remember to have a great time. Be positive this week and stay positive. And I'll see you next time for episode 6, everyone. Bye, everyone.